understand and feel yourself as the presence of awareness with which all experience is known, within which all experience arises, and out of which all experience is made. It would be sufficient to take any one of these three possible positions in relation to our experience. Having said that, each one tells us something unique about the nature of awareness. That is, the nature of ourself. In the first, we understand and feel ourself as the presence of awareness with which all experience is known. That is, we stand as the knower of the known, the experiencer of the experienced, the witness of the witnessed. And in this first step, we understand and feel our innate freedom and independence from the content of experience. That which knows our experience is not in any way qualified or conditioned by it, just as one who watches a movie is not implicated by what takes place in the movie. In this first step, recognizing ourselves as that with which all experience is known, we make a clear distinction between ourself as awareness and everything else. We know ourselves as the ultimate subject of all objective experience. In the second step, we recognize ourselves not just as the witness of all experience, the knower of all experience, but the medium upon which all experience takes place, or the space within which all experience takes place. So in this second step, we at least begin to collapse the apparent distance or distinction between awareness and the content of experience. We could visualize ourselves, if you want a visual image to accompany this stage of understanding, we could consider our self-awareness like a screen, an aware screen. upon which everything plays. I don't mean to imply by this that all there is to reality is the content of our own individual mind. Awareness is not limited by each of our minds. Just as the screen is not limited to a particular character in a movie. The screen pervades the character, indeed all characters. But it is not limited to them. It pervades the world in which the characters exist. Likewise, I would suggest that the presence of awareness that we ultimately are pervades each of our finite minds, but extends beyond the limits of our finite mind, and is the ultimate reality of the world that we perceive. We could perceive, we could imagine or visualize awareness like a three-dimensional screen, in other words, a hologram. And everything we experience, our own body, everybody else's body, and the entire world, is an appearance of that hologram in that hologram. Awareness is the aware screen or the aware space out of which the hologram is made, and everything that appears in it, including our own body, is ultimately appearing in that space. And then in the third step, we recognize that our entire experience does not just appear in the aware space of awareness, but it is a modulation of it. It is, so to speak, made of it, just as the hologram is made out of the very space in which it arises. And in this third step, the apparent distinction between anything that appears and the awareness in which it appears is completely dissolved, just as there is no distinction or separation between the image and the screen, or the appearances of a hologram and the hologram itself, the space itself. So in the first step, we separate ourselves from the content of experience, and we know ourselves as the knower of experience. We recognize our innate freedom and independence. In the second step, we begin to collapse this distinction. We know ourselves as the medium upon which, or the space within which, all experience appears. We discover our innate peace. Just as the empty space of a room is not disturbed by anything that takes place within it, so we, awareness, are not disturbed by anything that takes place within us. And then in the third recognition, we completely collapse any distinction between the screen and the movie, the space and the objects, awareness and its content. Everything, ourself, all other people and animals, and the world itself is seen to be a play of awareness, in awareness, made only of awareness. And we, as apparently separate selves or people, are localizations of that awareness, within that awareness, through whose sense organs it perceives itself as the world. So the illusion of separation only takes place from the localized perspective of each of our minds. But from the point of view of awareness, if we can speak of awareness having a point of view, there is nothing other than itself. Awareness is the sole reality out of which everyone and everything is made. So simply take whichever of these three recognitions is clearest and most obvious to you, and know yourself as that aspect of awareness. The important thing to recognize is that what we essentially are, the awareness that we essentially are, is not qualified by or limited to our experience, our thoughts, images, feelings, sensations, and perceptions, just like the screen is not qualified by the movie. In this sense, our essential nature is utterly impersonal. It shares none of the limited qualities of personal experience. But this does not imply that it is somehow cold or aloof or distant or unknowable. It is our essential nature of pure awareness is the most intimate, familiar aspect of experience. We cannot even say that it is intimate, it is closer than close. So whilst it is utterly impersonal, It is at the same time completely intimate, innermost. The personal self, or the ego, results from believing that what we essentially are shares the qualities of personal experience. In other words, the personal self or ego is a mixture, or an apparent mixture, of our essential self, the true and only self of unlimited awareness, with the content of experience. And this amalgam of ourself and the content of experience generates the sense of being a temporary, finite, separate self, the one on whose behalf most of our feelings, afflictive emotions arise.